John Beverly, the Candyman, the businessman with a conscience, on LICMC.net radio every Saturday at 3 p.m.
Hello, everyone. This is John Beverly, the businessman with a conscience, here at the Alchemalon Village, where each one reach one, each one teach one. One brick, one building, one block at a time. And as we often say, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And we show that we care about the things that we do. And today is kind of a sad moment for me. Life goes on. But nevertheless, I think I want to talk a little bit about taking the time out with one another because tomorrow is not promised. And unfortunately, I think it was Thursday morning, not only did I lose a nephew, but I also lost a best friend, one that had always been there for me when I needed him. And I often had told the story about when I was in the hospital for 15 days and was off of work for about 6 months. I didn't hear from anyone other than my family, but as far as my friends, he was the only one. And I never will forget him. So, and I've always have tried to be there for him when he needed me. He, unfortunately, he had got up in age and was sick and had went into one of those assisted living homes. And his cousin would always go and see him. And every time she would go to see him, he would always ask about me, and she would call so I could talk to him. And every now and then, my wife and I would go by to see him and take him something to eat, or his wife would come by here and pick up some barbecue for him. And we help him celebrate his birthday this year. My wife and I, they gave a little at the assisted living place. They had a little birthday party for him, and we shared some moments with him then. And sometimes, we can be so busy that we don't have time for ourselves or loved ones or each other. And I just want to put emphasis on, excuse me, my allergies is kind of acting up a little bit. But nevertheless, I often tell people to take the time out to share your love with your loved ones. Take the time out to make a phone call if you can't go to see them. To at least call them and let them know that you're thinking about them. Because, like I said the other day, not only did I lose a best friend, I also lost one of my nephews. Nice young man, outstanding young man. And I watched him grow from a small child to a young man. And he turned out to be a nice, well mannered, and respectful young man that loved his family. And he would often come down here to see me as well when I cook from time to time. And sometimes he felt a little greedy and sometimes he didn't. But nevertheless, I'm going to miss him. And our prayers go out to the family and pray for the Beverly family because unfortunately in the month of January we lost 5 members in our family. And since then we done lost about two more as well as two or three more as well as families and friends. So that's why I often say that you never know what tomorrow is going to bring. Tomorrow is not promised, not just for others, but for you as well. So get yourself together, get your life together. If you don't have it together, get it together. Get yourself in order, get your life in order, and tell people about the Lord. Tell people that no matter what you're going through, that He can protect you. He's a healer, He's a deliverer, and He's a savior. He's a comforter as well. And I often tell the story, if it had not been for the Lord that was on my side, where would I be? Not only through the deaths and things, but just life in general. Every day we go through something. We go through some kind of challenge, rather it's on our jobs or our friends. We have this emotional run of something, and it's unpredictable because you never know. Sometimes you see people and you never know what's going on in their lives. We often have a tendency, you know what's going on in your life, but remember, you are not the only person in the world that have feelings as well. So you got to also not only think about how you feel, but think about how other people feel as well. I often tell people to consider others as well as yourself. Treat people the way you want to be treated. Love people the way you want to be loved. Meet the need that the way you would want someone to meet the need for you. It may not be no more than a little attention, a little affection, uh, act of kindness, and it don't cost much to show that neither. So all I'm saying to you is take the time out. Call your best friend or your friend or your mom, your dad, if you're blessed to still have them. Unfortunately, my mother and father's gone, but there's not a day that go by that I don't think about them, that I don't see something on TV that reminds me of them. The little smile on their faces. Mom always telling me that I could do it. John, you could do it. I didn't get this far by myself. At one time I thought I could, but it takes each other. It takes us to be there for one another, to support one another, to help to lift one another up, to be able to tell the other that you can do it, that you can make it. Don't give up now. And my dad would always tell me, John, whatever you do, don't ever give up. And some people sometimes look at me and think that I've just always had it made. They didn't know exactly because I never, you could look at me and tell something may be going on with me, but you never knew if I didn't tell you what was going on with me. Because there was a time when I was, in a sense, what they would say, so far down that I would have to look up at the bottom of my feet, but didn't nobody know it because I kept a smile on my face and I was so busy trying to encourage somebody else. And sometimes when you are busy lifting other people up, it puts you in a better place too. Because, like I say, you're not the only one that's going through something. You're not the only one that has lost loved ones. You're not the only one that's feeling bad. You're not the only one that's not up in spirit today. You may be having a bad day, but there may be someone else that even having a worse day than you having. So you got to take those things into consideration and don't just you get in a circle and everybody's laughing and grinning and having fun. And just because you down and out, you don't have to be upset with nobody else. Maybe if you join in and kind of get your laugh on and try to enjoy the company, it'll help to bring your spirits up. So all I'm saying is remember, just take the time out, reach out to one another, do something. Take your wife out to dinner, your sister out to dinner, your cousin, your husband, whatever, your pastor, your deacon, and you just let people know how much you appreciate them. Every chance I get, I my father, he was what they would call the preacher's friend, the pastor's friend. He did all he could. I watched him, and every pastor that he knew, I watched him show love, share love. He wasn't thinking about his own ministry. He was busy trying to help lift somebody else up, trying to help another pastor if he could, if he saw the need. I'm not saying that all of them needed help all the time, But sometimes you just need somebody to let you know that they care, that they are concerned, and that they are with you, and that they support what you're doing. You know, I've learned a whole lot just from being here. I've learned a whole lot when the Bible said when I was a child, I acted as a child, but when I grew up, I threw away those childish and foolish things. So when we learn better, we should be able to do better. I've seen young men's 20, 30, and 40, and men's 50 years old still doing that same silly old stuff that they was doing back then. If it didn't get you nowhere then, you kind of stuck there because you need to, it's time to move on. It's time to grow up. And, sometimes I've heard somebody tell somebody else, that, well, I'm just like you. In some cases, you may be doing some of the same things that I'd done. But when do you grow up and learn that it's time out for that foolish stuff that you used to do, living in the past? It's time to move on, So, and I tell people, yes, I did a lot of stupid stuff. Yes, I did a lot of foolish things. I did a whole lot of things that I wished I wouldn't have done, but I can't change it. But what I can do is from this point on, I could do better. You don't have to keep making the same mistakes all the time over and over. I mean, they say the definition of madness when you find yourself keep doing the same thing over and over. You run into a brick wall and you realize that you can't get through it. Why back up and get a running start again and keep it's a brick wall? If you don't bust it up and go through it, you're not gonna run through it. So stop making the same mistakes. That's all I'm trying to tell you. Reach out, show love, act on love, share love, and the mistakes that you be making, we all have made them. Like I say, I made a whole lot of them, and I can't change that. It's the past, but I don't have to keep doing the same thing. When I didn't feel like it or wouldn't treat people the way that I wanted to be treated myself and treated them different. I remember there was a time when I was called myself hanging out. I ain't had no business in the streets anyway. But I called myself hanging out and in a bar and drinking and doing stupid stuff and offended someone. I wouldn't have wanted nobody to offend me like that. But after I thought about it and realized what I had done, I couldn't change it. But what I did do, I went back to that person and I asked them to forgive me. I apologized to him. I said, it was stupid, it was dumb, I don't even know why I did it, but I did it and I can't change it. But I promise you from this point on, if you allow me to continue to be your friend, I will, but I'll never do that again. So we don't have to keep making the same mistakes. If you get a chance to go back and tell, sometimes somebody is, they may not be waiting and they may not say that they're waiting, but sometimes you don't know, the different things that you have done in your life, the people that you have hurt in your life. Maybe it's time to go back and tell them, say, and even if they didn't forgot about it, do you remember when I did this and I did that? Well, I was wrong and I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hurt you. And mean it. And you'd be surprised how far that would go. You don't have to be too proud. You don't have to be too big. And I ask every day, I ask, Lord, please forgive me if I did something through commission or omission. If I did something I shouldn't have done, forgive me. I can't change it, but I can try to do better from this point on. And don't keep making the same mistakes. Hopefully, I said something to encourage you, to give you something to think about what you're doing that will help you to change your life for the better. Thank you for listening to John Beverly, the businessman with a conscience, here at the Alchemoline Village, where each one reach one, each one teach one brick, one building, one block at a time. And as we constantly say, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And I try to show it by the things that I do. Thank you, and have a great day.
John Beverly, the Candyman, the businessman with a conscience, on licmc.net radio every Saturday at 3 p.m.